Ah, the wisdom of the ages. Be tolerant with others. Be strict with yourself. Simple, isn't it? Or at least that's what they want you to believe. The golden rule, wrapped up in this neat little package, promising that if you just follow it, you'll unlock some profound inner peace. But here's the thing. It's not that simple, is it? No. It's more like setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. Because apparently life's ultimate goal is to become everyone else's emotional sponge while quietly suffocating under the weight of your own impossible standards. Let's take a deeper look, shall we? It's not like we've got anywhere better to be. No, seriously, we don't. Or be tolerant with others, right? Because people never let you down, do they? Never fall short of expectations, never push your patience to its absolute limit. And yet, here you are, supposed to look at their failures with eyes wide open and say, "It's fine, I get it, we're all doing our best." But we're not all doing our best, are we? No. Sometimes people are just careless. They're lazy. They make the same mistakes over and over again, and somehow you get to be the lucky person who's supposed to tolerate it. And why? Because being a tolerant person makes you morally superior. Because letting people trample over your boundaries is the noble thing to do. But that's the kicker, isn't it? You don't say anything. You don't tell them how much their indifference grinds away at your patience. No. Instead, you swallow your frustration because that's what being tolerant looks like. It's nodding along as people unravel the threads of your sanity and plastering on that practiced smile. But inside, you know the truth. You're angry, you're disappointed. But you tolerate it all, because isn't that what a good person does? Isn't that what we're told? Be patient, be kind, forgive endlessly, and who cares if that tolerance slowly eats away at your sense of self? But wait, there's more. The fun doesn't stop there. No. Let's move on to the piece de resistance. Be strict with yourself. Ah, yes, the idea that while you're busy being understanding and compassionate to everyone around you, you must be relentless, demanding, ruthless with yourself. Doesn't that sound delightful? Imagine the scene. It's late at night, and everyone else is fast asleep. You're replaying every single mistake you made today. The missed deadline, the awkward conversation, the thing you said 2 years ago that still haunts you. Everyone else is allowed to shrug off their failures, but not you. Never you. For you, every slip-up is a catastrophe. Every missed opportunity is a chance for your inner critic to whisper, "You should have done better. Perfection is the name of the game." But here's the real twist. You never actually reach it, do you? No matter how strict you are, no matter how hard you push yourself, it's never quite enough. So you do what any reasonable person would do. You set the bar higher. You crack the whip harder. You convince yourself that the problem isn't the endless self-criticism, it's that you're not critical enough. Because surely somewhere down this path of relentless self-punishment, there's a reward waiting, right? Some moment of transcendence where you finally feel good enough. Except that moment never comes. Spoiler alert, it never does. But here's where it really gets interesting. You're supposed to be tolerant of everyone else's flaws, while holding yourself to a standard of perfection. It's a fun little paradox, don't you think? You watch other people stumble through life, and instead of getting upset, you smile and say, "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes, but the second you trip up, oh no, that's different. That's unacceptable." It's almost like you're living in two different worlds. In one, everyone else gets to be imperfect. In the other, you're not allowed, not even a little bit. And who enforces that rule? Well, you do. You become your own worst enemy, tearing yourself down over things you would forgive anyone else for in a heartbeat. So what does that leave you with? A life spent giving grace to others while withholding it from yourself. A never-ending internal battle where you're both the soldier and the enemy, fighting a war that no one else even knows is happening. And what's the prize for winning this war? Nothing. Just more fighting, more self-criticism, more exhaustion. It's a lonely place to be, isn't it? The real irony of be tolerant with others, be strict with yourself, is that no one ever sees the toll it takes on you. Outwardly, you're the model of composure, calm, understanding, unflappable. But beneath the surface, it's a different story. Beneath the surface, you're drowning. Every mistake you make, every moment of imperfection weighs on you. But no one knows that, do they? Because you don't let them see it. After all, why burden others with your struggles? Why let them know that the very tolerance you show them is something you desperately crave for yourself? That would break the illusion. The illusion that you're perfectly fine, that nothing gets to you. And so, you keep it all hidden, thinking that maybe, if you just try harder, push yourself a little more, it'll all be worth it in the end. But deep down, you know the truth. It never is. And the best part, no one ever tells you that this is how it's going to be. No one says, hey, by the way, this whole be strict with yourself thing, it's going to cost you. Big time. They just hand you the rule and expect you to follow it. And you do. Oh, you follow it to the letter. You give others the benefit of the doubt, time and time again. You tolerate their missteps, their flaws, their failures, and in return you punish yourself for yours. But here's the truth no one talks about. There's a price for living this way. A heavy price. Over time, it chips away at you. It leaves you exhausted, burned out, disconnected. And the worst part, it's so quiet. The suffering is so subtle that even you don't realize how deep it runs until one day you wake up and wonder why everything feels so empty. But by then, it's too late, isn't it? You've built your entire identity around this paradox, around being endlessly patient with others and merciless with yourself. And even if you wanted to stop, even if you wanted to be kind to yourself for once, you wouldn't know how. And so, you keep going. You keep playing the role, being tolerant of everyone but yourself, day after day, year after year. And somewhere along the way, you forget what it even feels like to be kind to yourself. You forget that you, too, deserve the grace you so freely give to others. But maybe that's the point of this whole thing. Maybe it's not about finding peace or balance. Maybe it's about keeping the illusion alive, about convincing yourself that if you just try hard enough, it'll all make sense. But does it ever? Does it really? Probably not. But that's the thing about illusions. You can't help but keep chasing them.